Insolvent definition, a new focus for Toronto Bankruptcy Trustee. The Oxford Dictionary definition is, insolvent adjective unable to pay debts owed. Section 2 of the Bankruptcy and Insolvency Act, RSC, 1985, c. B3, BIA, defines insolvent person as. Insolvent person means a person who is not bankrupt and who resides, carries on business or has property in Canada, whose liabilities to creditors provable as claims under this act amount to $1,000, and a. who is for any reason unable to meet his obligations as they generally become due. b. who has ceased paying his current obligations in the ordinary course of business as they generally become due, or c. the aggregate of whose property is not, at a fair valuation, sufficient, or, if disposed of at a fairly conducted sale under legal process, would not be sufficient to enable payment of all his obligations, due and accruing due. Insolvent person refers to both individuals and companies. The BIA definition incorporates the common English definition. The BIA definition also incorporates the accounting concept of net worth. Cormos v. Fast, 2018 ONSC 6044, Conley. Mr. and Mrs. Cormos got a judgment against their neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Fast. The Small Claims Court issued the judgment for $25,565.64. This judgment comes about from problems arising from flooding in their home which was triggered by the Fasts. After the judgment was given, the Fasts were contacted by Mr. Cormos' licensed insolvency trustee. The trustee advised that Mr. Fast had submitted a consumer proposal under the BIA numerous months previously, on August 24, 2016. Mr. Fast did not previously mention anything about his consumer proposal or his subsequent filing of an assignment in bankruptcy. 15 days after the Cormos plaintiffs started enforcement of the judgment by serving a notice of examination on Mrs. Fast, she made an assignment in bankruptcy under the BIA on April 25, 2017. In their different bankruptcy filings, each of the Fasts attested in their respective sworn statement of affairs, that their home in Queenston, Ontario, was worth $630,000. Mr. and Mrs. Cormos provided evidence by way of an expert witness appraisal who also testified in court, showing that the home was considerably underestimated in the BIA filings by Mr. Fast on August 24, 2016 and Mrs. Fast on April 25, 2017 when she made an assignment in bankruptcy. The Cormos lawyer stated that when a reasonable value is designated to the home, neither Mr. Fast nor Mrs. Fast were insolvent when their corresponding filings were made under the BIA. They were obviously relying on the fact that each of Mr. and Mrs. Fast really had a positive net worth. Mr. and Mrs. Cormos were looking for an order under the BIA, annulling Mr. Fast's consumer proposal as well as, if required, his 2014 bankruptcy, as well as, 2, annulling Mrs. Fast's bankruptcy. The court's analysis. The Fasts did not challenge the expert appraisal opinion. The court accepted the expert's appraisal as being the value of the home on the relevant dates of Mr. and Mrs. Fast's respective filings under the BIA. The court looked at the insolvent definition in the BIA. In her bankruptcy filing, Mrs. Fast filed her statement of monthly income and expenses. According to the statement, her monthly expenses exceed her monthly income by $2,010. When looking at the definition of insolvent, the court concluded that Mrs. Fast was unable to meet her obligations and had stopped paying her current obligations. Notwithstanding that the court found that Mrs. Fast probably understated the value of her interest in the home, the court was not persuaded to annul her bankruptcy as she met the definition of an insolvent person. As for Mr. Fast, the court decided it would not annul his consumer proposal. The judge went on to say that even if he was persuaded to do so, Mr. Fast was still a bankrupt and the judge had no evidence for the proposition that his bankruptcy should also be annulled. So, the judge did not grant the application. The Fasts are under their respective BIA proceedings and Mr. and Mrs. Cormos can file their claim with the Fasts trustee. Are you insolvent? Are you unable to pay your debts as they come due? Are your bills past due and you don't know how you are going to pay them? If so, then you are insolvent, and we can help eliminate your pain. The Ira Smith team has decades and generations of experience helping people and companies in financial trouble. Whether it is a consumer proposal debt settlement plan, a larger personal or corporate restructuring proposal debt settlement plan, or as a last resort, bankruptcy, we have the experience. Call us today for your free consultation.
I hope you enjoyed the video. The Ira Smith team is available to help you at any time. We offer sound advice and a solid plan for starting over, starting now, so that you'll be well on your way to a debt-free life in no time. For more information on a no-cost basis, please visit our website or call us. Our website and telephone details are coming right up now. Ow.